Hello everyone, my name is Christian Buckley. I have never played A Link to the Past to completion, so that's what this here show is about. This is Master Quest Part 8. I'm being guided by Link to the Past aficionado.
Aficionado, wow.
DJ Gillard.
Wow, thank you, it's good to be here.
I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Because for our pre-show rundown banter that doesn't make it to the episode,
No.
people are missing out on the fact that you are the lifeblood of helping me not fail in this.
Yeah?
In this game that is, I wouldn't say archaic, but its secrets...
I would say obtuse.
Its secrets are obtuse.
Yeah.
And
its secrets are designed around selling you Nintendo Power subscriptions.
Yeah. And
like, we don't need to, like... We can just accept that. We don't need to argue about it. Like, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
We all know it.
And you're my living Nintendo Power.
Yeah, exactly. It works out fine.
It does.
I'm glad to be there, to be the living Nintendo Power. It's always been my dream. So.
Do you think back in the day when the hotline existed, they would have imagined that people would just be DMing each other on Twitter, being like, "Hey, is there an important side quest that I should just check out?"
They did not account for Twitter. They're like, we're just gonna make like this phone line. That's all everyone's gonna need ever.
Yeah.
No one's gonna be able to look online for help in games. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
I mean, it took them what, like 20 years to break away from this formula?
Yeah, it did.
So,
I hope they should bring the helpline back.
That'd be cool.
Just have like one person, just you call him up and you're like, yeah, he can tell you what to do. That'd be fun.
Nintendo, I'm betting you if you wanted to, DJ would happily accept a job.
I would do this job. I would do
being
this, like
the Twitter hashtag DMer Nintendo hotline.
Yeah, I would 100% do this job, and I think I'm qualified. I don't think there's many of your games in Nintendo that like I can't probably help someone through.
Mm-hmm.
If they just like told me all the problems, I'd be like, okay, I can see in my head where you gotta go and what you gotta do. I think I could do this job.
And this show is living proof because you're helping me out. So.
You're welcome. Thank you.
On your recommendation, I started this episode not going straight to the dungeon, but looking to the east of Kakariko, because you told me there would be a power up to give me more magic.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna need it later on. I did go east. I looked around, could not find anything of note. Stumbled into the swordsmith. Remembered in my head from last week, I was like, oh yeah, the sword upgrade. And I really couldn't get anything done there because I was like talking to the guy and he said, my partner's missing. Wonder what he's up to. Bye.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah, it gave me like Brock and Sindri vibes from God of War. I was like,
that's good.
Did they fight? Why is he missing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I found out later, but
he did. Yeah.
One thing that piqued my interest about this house of swordsmithing, though, right next to it there was a well.
Yes. Did you go down the well?
I did. I jumped down this well.
Okay.
And I looked around a little bit. There's basically two paths to go. One leads to the outside cave entrance beneath the stairs of the house. The other one goes into a room where there's this green pot.
Oh no.
So, what is...
Go on.
I tried doing anything. I tried using the book that lets me translate things. I tried using the fire rod on it because we saw in the Skull Woods the fire rod randomly works on things sometimes.
Yeah, just hit it with the fire rod. It might work. It not gonna make sense, but
I think I hit the tiles in front of it with the hammer once, and I was like, you know what? Not meant to be here, and then I left.
You were meant to be there.
Okay.
This is the magic. This is very funny. This is the magic upgrade right here.
Of course it is.
So what you have, I'm glad it is, because I started to get really anxious when you told me you couldn't find it. I was like, did I direct him wrong? Like, I'm pretty sure I got it right where it is. So
Your reputation's on the line here.
I know. I was right though.
Yeah, you were.
So what you have to do here is you drop. This is one of those things. They should have hints or anything to help you out here, because like you're not gonna use all your items on this thing, but you drop the magic powder onto this thing, and then do I want to spoil what happens? There's a weird interaction. I'll let you do it next week, and then we'll talk about this very strange interaction that happens. But that is how you're going to get your double magic.
Okay. I have my Switch in front of me. I'm gonna pull up my inventory.
Do this live?
No. I'm gonna pull up my inventory, because I don't think I have magic powder.
Oh. I thought we did have magic powder.
You might. I don't think I do. Where would that be, in the A section or in the Y section?
That would be in the Ys.
Yeah, it's not looking like it.
Do you have the mushroom still?
I have a mushroom, and I gave it to the witch, and then she said come back later. I did, nothing happened, and then I went back into the forest and I found another mushroom.
Huh. You should go back to the witch.
Okay.
Yeah, she gives you the magic powder, and then the magic powder is useful in other things too.
Okay.
So yeah, this is very funny, and this another way to illustrate how
just
old games are very obtuse.
Backwards this thing is.
Yeah.
Well,
and you kind of do need to play these kind of things with the guide. That you kind of to fully experience, because like I don't think you're being harmed by not knowing you did the magic powder, but it's just weird that like I feel like you didn't get the you're not people if you don't play this game and like have the knowledge of all these things, you're not getting like the full experience, I guess. It is weird for sure.
Yeah, so next week I'll start off by visiting the witch and upgrading the magic meter again.
This is very funny.
So
Gotta say.
Nothing in this game though so far as like trying to tell you something that you don't really understand is close to being as bad as going through the cave in Pokemon without Flash.
Yeah.
So like we haven't reached that level yet. Hoping it doesn't get there.
No.
But
honestly, this is the upgrade systems you're on now, like doing, are the most obtuse things in this game.
Great.
As far as like stuff like that, and they're like not essential because like you're not having a bad time that you just because you didn't find the magic powder.
No.
Like it's not that big of a deal. It's useful. But yeah.
So it's funny though, because now that I'm going further down my notes, I did visit the witch before we started the dungeon this week. I went to get elixirs because he told me to start stocking up elixirs now. So I went inside, spoke with her assistant, and bought 3 bottles of elixir.
Did you speak to her outside?
I did. And she's like, I smell fruit. And I was like, cool. I left.
Now I'm confused if you get the magic powder a different way.
Well,
maybe. I don't think so, but this is a conversation for another time. But this is very funny.
I do know in Link's Awakening you get the powder from the witch, so I'm assuming it's
maybe that's
the
why
same.
I'm confused. Maybe you get the magic powder a different way, and then I'm thinking of Link's Awakening. That could be a thing. Either way,
we can fact
check. You should
check
look it up for next episode.
Yeah. So, I
proof that I cannot be the Nintendo Hotline person, because I'm telling you, actually, you should look on the internet for this one. I'm not 100%, but
we have those days.
Yeah.
So I teleport into the Dark World after stocking up. On my way back to the Thief Village, I find a circle of flowers. I step inside, get teleported to the entrance of a cave that is raised above one of the roads.
Okay.
Went inside, found a piece of heart.
Oh, nice.
So, staying vigilant with the environment, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
There have been a few times I have tried this on like diamonds in like the dirt, and I'm like, oh, hey, maybe, but nothing there. So nothing notable so far.
But it's always fun to just find new upgrades like that. That's the best part of it, exploring the Dark World, just seeing how they connect and different passageways, different places. Those are always fun.
Absolutely, yeah. So when it does have a little secret waiting for me, it feels nice.
Yeah.
So I arrive in the village, start looking around. I'm like, okay, where's this entrance? I thought it was going to be, remember that one of the first episodes, I think, we walked into the abandoned hideout with the guy that was like, oh, the blind guy doesn't like the light or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be in there because
that makes sense.
in my time visiting the village, there's no entrance to that building as far as I've seen. So I was like, hey, maybe new item I have is going to let me in. Maybe the hook shot's going to do something for me.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's interesting that you went back to that guy, though, because now, by the end of this episode, you kind of see what he was talking about. We'll talk about that after, though.
Yeah. So I went down to the statue, because last week one of the last things I did was I played the ocarina in front of the statue, and I got fast travel. So I was like, okay, maybe. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
And then I walk up, I like press A to read it, and I'm like, maybe there's an inscription on the statue, maybe there's an observation Link will make, and I think I might have accidentally like bummed the thumbstick down, and then I was like, oh, it was that simple, I just had to pull it.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's very weird how it does that, because it's like, there's no other point in the game where you have to pull something to open it. Like, I guess it's the color, like the same color as all the other things that you pick up with your mitts, like that weird, like, greenish brown. I guess that's what they're going for, but it's not. No. Like, that doesn't work very well. It's very, like, I could totally see you being totally confused on how to get there, never figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is one of those things where I'm surprised you did figure it out. I totally expected you to be like, yeah, I couldn't find this dungeon, had to look it up, and it was very simple.
We were almost there. That was a total accident, pretty much.
Yeah.
But after I did open it, I was like, oh, it kind of looks like a grate, so maybe they were trying to like guide me of like, hey, there's not just a statue here.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was like, in hindsight, I was like, oh yeah, that's it. So.
Yeah. Not the most obtuse thing in this game.
No.
It's up there, but it's not the most.
Just watch last week's episode if you want to see what was obtuse about this game so far.
Yeah.
So my first observation, dungeon time. We're here.
Yeah.
I know the name of these things, if these are the things I'm thinking, but I'm probably gonna butcher it.
Go for it, because I actually have the names of these dudes in front of me.
Lizalfos?
Lizalfos? No, they are not Lizalfos.
Okay, so what the hell are they?
They are specific to this game and Link Between Worlds, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And the Palace of the Four Sword, which is not in this game. They're in, I guess that's in the Four Swords
Adventure?
Yeah, so that's in the GBA version of this game where they put the Palace of the Four Sword in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've actually never played that. I would be very interested in downloading an emulator and just giving that a go. I've never done that version.
Four Swords always really interested me.
I like Four Swords. That's an aside though, but yeah.
That's crazy though that they would like update it that way. That's cool.
Yeah, but these dudes are called. Let me get it. I had it right in front of me. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Zazax? Zazak. Zazax.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's probably it.
Is it because they have mohawks?
Zelda games. Yeah, they look cool. I like these guys.
Yeah, Zazax is the name of something that they designed to look cool. You know?
Yeah.
So
they should definitely bring these back. This is another in our ongoing segment of things that they should do in Breath of the Wild too.
Yeah.
They should definitely make these dudes 3D. Huge. That'd be good.
Give me like one lone Zazak, the last of the kind.
Yeah.
Just have
the
a
last
quest there.
Zazak.
So immediately here I notice, aside from my initial observation, perspective took a little bit to get used to again, because anything with like the raised paths, it's a little unclear sometimes if there's no guardrail. And I know that's there to like jump down, but it still kind of is like is there a wall there? Am I not supposed to be going up and down? And that's this dungeons thing. It's like you transfer the screens through passing these like underneath these bridges, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely the first time you go in, you're just like, what can I jump off? What can't I? I don't know what's going on here. But once you figure it out, it's like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, and I think the room on the right is where it really got me, because there were guardrails, but like with the way everything else looked so far and the way I was adjusting to traveling through this dungeon, I think there was a chest, and like in my head, based on the information I was seeing, I was like, I should be able to jump down and get it, but I couldn't.
Right.
So
yeah, because like things are like blocked off in certain ways, so you have to like there's specific paths you have to take.
Yeah.
This is an interesting opening for the dungeon, because it's like it's kind of like one of the few places in this game where it like indulges in its combat a lot. It feels very Zelda 1 here. This puzzle's weird because like it's these 4 opening big rooms. The biggest, they make up like half the dungeon.
Yeah.
These 4 rooms, like spatially, but all this is you gotta figure out the right path so you can go underneath the bridge into the other room, get the big key, and then you leave and you never come back. Very weird choice. I don't hate it. It was just one of those things where it takes up so much of the dungeon, and it's like one very simple puzzle that might take you too long because you're kind of confused and like, how do I get there? What's going on?
Yeah, just trying to like navigate which entrance went to what part of the room and like make that map in my head, as far as like the detailed aspect of like what portion of the room next door I'd be walking into for like the chests and stuff.
Yeah,
I think that was probably the hardest part about this dungeon.
Yeah,
because everything else,
these things take so much health. And, like, trying to do that while you're like trying to survive is rough.
But everything else was like kind of a breeze. In like not in like a, oh, this is too easy way, but just like a, oh, this is a satisfying, I'm like doing Zelda puzzles, progressing at a good pace sort of thing. And
the puzzles that are in this dungeon are really fascinating, I think.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
Like, I mentioned it to you before the show, most of my notes this week are like just choices they made.
Yeah.
Because I think just through exploration of the dungeon, I ended up going northwest first on that path, which would eventually bring me to the top floor of the dungeon, where I can walk across that hallway and come to the room with the bomb where I bombed the floor.
Yep.
And allow light to pass through, I think is what I did.
So did you not go to the room below beforehand?
No.
No? Interesting. Because if you go to the room, like the eventual boss room, beforehand, it's just an empty room. Like, the light isn't there. Like, obviously, right? Like, so it's just an empty room, and then you're immediately just like, huh? Like, is this the boss room? Like, what's going on here? And then you get the light, then like you go back down and see it, and you're like kind of even more confused.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Because
so that's very interesting.
Yeah, the first time I went into that room was after I allowed light in, and I went in and I was like, I'm missing something. Is there something else here?
Yeah.
So I did progress.
Go around, bomb all the walls. Just like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, that was another thing too. Like, this is another dungeon I think so far where they've been a little willy-nilly with their art style and like certain places to put down a texture to, because there's that hallway that leads to the bomb room where where there's like so many spots in the floor that are cracked, and I can't bomb any of them.
Yeah.
And it leads to the room where that room's entire purpose is to have the floor be bombed.
Yeah.
So like,
it's nice that they do throw some bombs in the room beforehand, like in the skulls, which is thank you. So I didn't, but I could see it being total piss off if like you go through the hallway, you bomb everything, you get to the end of the room, no bombs.
Yeah.
Like, the one place you need it.
Yeah. So I thought like the choice to make the dungeon sort of like incomplete unless you brought light in was an interesting choice because like I think it's the most unique like gimmick I guess so far from them all.
Yeah. It feels like a puzzle that you would see like in the later games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's so many later games that have like those kind of ideas. Like, oh, you break something in one room and then like something else changes in the other. The old games don't play with that at all, except for right here, which I think I love this part of it. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, because every other dungeon we've done so far is like, oh, this is the water dungeon. This is the normal introductory one. This is the creepy one. So like, there's thematically the establishment of like what a specific dungeon looks like in a Zelda game, which is a lot of what we've talked about A Link to the Past excelling in, is just like teeing up the future.
Yeah.
But this is I totally agree with you. Like this is a unique idea that builds off of everything else we've seen in the game in a way that a future game would. So I really did like the because it's kind of like weird. Like the way you get to the boss, it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we'll talk about that after too, when we get to the boss. But yeah, I had a point and I lost it. What was it? It's not coming back to me. But yeah, I think this boss or this dungeon is really smart in that way, and I think it's really interesting how this is my point. I got it. All the other dungeons preceding this, like all the puzzles are like, they're very much based on like, you got a key, go back to this room, you got another key, oh, now you unlocked your item, and then you use the item to solve it. But this puzzle is like actually like a puzzle. Like, oh, you have to figure out like what exactly you have to do here, how you can like change the environment. So I think that's like the most interesting part about it. So we go down to the basement, I assume, after that.
Yeah.
So how did that go for you?
So once I got to the basement, it was, again, not straightforward. It's weird because like it's enjoyable, I think, is the word I should pin this dungeon with, because like it's not easy, but it's different, and it's not tedious in the ways that other dungeons, like you just said, of using keys.
Yeah.
Because this one does have it has a mix of that, you know. There are a couple areas you can access with keys, but they didn't feel necessary. Like, I think at the end of one, you just got some big rupee haul, I think.
Yeah.
But,
that sounds familiar.
The dungeon felt good to visit or the bottom floor of it did, because I felt like I conquered it at the point of going to the boss room, you know? And I knew on the map there was more to see, but it didn't like click with me yet. But
so did you not see every room in the dungeon by the end of it?
By the end I did.
Okay. Because there are rooms you can totally skip.
Yeah, I actually went back after I found the maiden, which I'll get to in a second, to the left side of that treadmill room, where I think that was like the optional rooms, like you could have skipped.
There's nothing there, isn't there? Did you find something?
I think it was just some rupees. That was it. Yeah, because there was that like weird death trap room. Yeah. So, it was not much.
Yeah. So then you got the mitts, I assume?
Yes, the Titan mitt, the Infinity Gauntlet.
Exactly. It's strange how this game does items, and this is probably my wider point about this dungeon. One of the things, and I think replaying this game, I think I figured out why I love this game more than other Zelda games, and it's that it always keeps you guessing. The item to boss to dungeon relationship is never concrete. It is always throwing you for a loop in what you expect. Even if this is like the third Zelda game, you expect the boss to be one thing and it's not that thing at all. You expect to get an item that's going to help you out. It doesn't help you out here. And then it'll help you out later. Like it'll do those kind of things, and I think that's what I find so interesting about it. Always keeps you on your toes. But I was wondering about the mitts. Do you think they're missable? I don't think. I think you can walk into this dungeon without them. I think after this you're gonna need them for a couple
Yeah.
things.
You
But
probably
you totally
could miss them
Yeah.
based on the fact that they were like one of the last things I did here.
Yep. And they're not useful in the dungeon.
No. So I think that probably is the case.
Yeah.
Luckily, we didn't run into
didn't
that
have
problem this time.
Yeah, we didn't have a Moon Pearl 2.0 problem.
No. But before I got the gauntlet, I did go to my favorite. I wrote this about it. It was the room with the maiden, right?
Yep.
I wrote, it's the first room that feels practical. Because,
In what way?
so I walk in, right? And
Yep.
there's a table there, and there's just one Zazak.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, it gave me, like, vibes of the Wind Waker when you invade the fortress at the beginning. And I was like, these guys are just chilling here.
Yeah.
And it, like,
yeah.
it just had it just stuck with me in a way that I was like, this feels like a lived-in room of this dungeon where people are just standing in places.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it was the fact that there were cells there too, that they were keeping like their own people in, kind of, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Wonder what was going on there. Yeah.
yeah, like,
I never even clued into that. I was just like, oh, more enemies for me to kill.
yeah,
Bang. And yeah, that's weird.
because they were locked up, they were behind
Yeah.
bars. Like there were, I think, 3 or 4 cells in that room,
Yeah.
and then you just had the red one standing at the table, just like having a drink, keeping
just-
watch.
Yeah. Taking a nap every once in a while no one's gonna check on his patrol.
Yeah. So I did really like this room. In
Yeah.
that way.
I never even made that read. That's awesome. It's like this game, and like we don't get this until like even later dungeons and later Zelda games. Like they always feel like a puzzle box with enemies just for you to kill. They don't feel like you're visiting a place that like is actually like a place that the Wind Waker reference is perfect because it's like this is literally just our fortress.
Yeah.
And, like it's a dungeon, but like you got to figure out like and like it feels so lived in. And that's an awesome connection.
Yeah, I would really love to see more of that in the future. Not in this game specifically, because we're a decent chunk into this game, and this is the first time something like that has come up for me.
I don't think it's gonna happen again.
I don't either, but yeah, I definitely prefer like this sort of approach to making it feel this way, similar to Wind Waker, like you just said. But and then this room also has the maiden in it, which is interesting. Again, a choice makes this dungeon stand out in my. I think it's probably gonna make it stand out in my memory, looking back at it all.
Yeah.
Because I got her and she said, "Bring me to the exit," and I was like, "Okay, something's wrong. I don't know if she's gonna turn into something or if she's gonna get taken right when I get to the exit." But I made my way back through the dungeon, walked out the front door. She stopped me. She said, "Don't go this way." And then I stepped outside and she was gone, and I had to go back
Did you have to go all the way back down, or was she at the front door?
all the way back down.
Oh man.
So I think the second time there on my way back in is when I got the mitt, actually.
Ah, that's funny.
Because I was like, let me check out this side of it first and like see
Yeah.
what's laying around here. But
Yeah.
at that point I made the connection of like, okay, yeah, obviously they're not just gonna let me walk out of here without fighting a boss.
Yeah.
So cool reveal.
Yeah. Very strange. I like how this pays off the beginning thing that we were just talking about. How it's like at the very beginning, it's just like, our leader does not like the light.
I believe his name is Blind.
Yeah, Blind does not like the light, and then you take this girl to the light, and you find out like, oh, I'm pretty sure she Blind took control of her. I think that's how this works lore-wise. Why she turns.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up.
So the way it's presented, I thought he was just like undercover, maybe.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the fight, she still comes down in the crystal. So like she was probably still imprisoned, and then he took on her form. Perhaps.
Yeah, I'm reading it now.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he did have some weird like shape-shifting sort of moments in the fight too.
Yeah, so this is blind. Like, and he just takes control of the maiden. Basically, when he goes to the dark world and like everything happens with like the maidens in the dark world.
Mm-hmm.
So that is very funny that like you would never think this little girl is the like blind, the leader they were referring to at the beginning of the game, but it was. It's a very fun connection they made. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Like I did kind of see it coming when I had to go back, and like I brought her into the room. I was like, okay. Is she the boss? Is that what we're going for? But still, it worked for me. I thought it was cool. And very unlike most of the other storytelling in the game, I think.
Yeah, this dungeon to me, like, it's not like, as a dungeon, it's not like that strong, but it's just such an interesting and like weird, memorable one, which is why I love it so much. This is the one that like you when you think back on this game, you're like, oh yeah, remember that time you took that girl to the light and she became this weird dude?
Yeah,
that was dope.
Like I don't want to make the connection because people have done it a million times, but like it did feel Souls-esque in its environmental storytelling, you know?
Yeah.
And the boss as well, but.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, very unique.
How did you feel
so far.
about the boss? It was a pretty simple one. Just kind of hit it with the sword. Mm-hmm. Very hard when like all of his heads just start rolling around the place and firing in all directions. But,
yeah, I wrote that it was a tough boss, where tough means there's a lot of stuff you have to look out for.
Yeah.
By the end of it, so being stocked up on the elixirs was helpful.
Yeah.
Because you really, by the end of that thing, you just have to tank it. Luckily, my upgraded shield actually did block these fireballs.
Yeah.
Not the laser blasts, but I did get some defense.
Yeah.
So, I think this one took me 2 tries.
2 tries, yeah.
So, again, it's an easier one, but you do have to manage a lot of projectiles, which... So far, projectiles in this game have been hit or miss for me, where it's either like feels cheap or I think it does something cool. So
totally.
This one was a mix, I think.
Yeah, it's no Helmo King, but it's a solid boss.
Yeah, cool design too.
Yeah, like he looks cool.
Like this weird demon thing that's just a head, I think.
Yeah. Again, bring him back for Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, bring back Blind.
That'd be cool. Bring back a full like thieves town. That'd be cool.
That would be great.
Yeah.
If there was like, because I guess like he kind of messed with that with the Yiga clan a little bit, but like if there was a Terry town for thieves,
that'd be cool.
It's like Skyrim-esque. You could have like a thieves guild side quest where you help them construct this town.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be very cool.
I think like they were trying to like imply that like the Gerudo and them are like connected. I think we talked about that a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But like now that I feel like they've gone in so many different directions, just bring back the thieves and the Gerudo. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be very cool. And then
so after the dungeon, you did some stuff, right?
Yes. No interesting lore this week from the Maiden drop.
It's just like, kill Ganon, please.
It said something about like. It was like, oh, yeah, the hero bloodline of the Knights of Hyrule, and you're the last of the kind. It's ironic that you're the one that's going to turn into the hero of legend. And I was like, it's not ironic, but okay.
Yeah, it makes sense, actually.
Yeah,
but
it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, continued back out into the world, walked around a little bit, lifted up some boulders with this new Thanos glove. Under your guidance, I was able to upgrade my sword.
Very nice.
And to do this, had to go south of Kakariko into the Dark World. Found a little toad surrounded by these dark green skull rocks. And I had to escort him.
Yeah,
protect
you
him.
needed the Titan Smith for these rocks. To get the darker green ones now that you've probably seen before and tried to lift up and couldn't, now you can do all of them.
Yes.
So So that'll be interesting.
And unlike the hammer, where I was like, okay, there's like 3 places I know to go back to with the hammer. I think there's like at least 50 boulders that I can pick on.
Oh, yeah.
And none of them are standing out in my head of where they are or what might be important for them.
You'll run by them, though. Yeah.
That's what I figure. So, like, nothing like to be in a rush to find so far.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'll keep an eye out. Whenever I see something, I'll try lifting it up. That's what I've been doing mostly with the standard boulders.
Yeah.
The big ones, at least. But
for sure. I like too in this little segment here. He is a toad, and like that's the same thing like when you're a bunny when you go to the dark world the first time. Like, oh, this is affecting other people too. Like they get messed up when they enter the dark world. So when you bring him back, like he's okay again. You're like, save this dude. It's a nice little interaction again. With the upgrades.
Yeah, I think the first thing he said to me when I lifted up the rock was like, "Oh, you kept your form." I was like, "Yeah, cool, okay."
Yeah.
But that is the notable side quest of the week, on top of what is a very pleasant dungeon.
Yeah.
So I think I needed this week after last week.
Yeah, I'm happy that we got to have a good time this one. This is a good dungeon. Very happy. Very happy with it.
So I want to ask you.
Okay.
In terms of the dungeons we've done so far.
Okay.
Would you say that this one is like mid-tier or like up there?
I think this is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, I just one of those things that really stands out to me. It's the one I'll always remember. Just like, oh, this is wild. I think my favorite overall in the game is probably the next one, which will be divisive, I'm sure. The next one is not for the faint of heart. I will say that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
it is like 8 floors, I think. Like it's a big one.
Is it 8 floors like Goddess Tower 8 floors or Tower of Hera?
No, like it's like 8 floors, so like a lot of them are kind of complete. So
whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has a theme that is very divisive, a common theme in video games. I don't know if you want me to spoil it, give you a little
water?
tease. No, it is. You're very close.
Is it fire?
No. Think water. What does water turn into?
Oh, is it ice?
It's an ice dungeon. So that will be.
Okay.
You can imagine a big ice dungeon.
Yeah.
Where all the floor is ice. That it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I mean, the floor of my opinion of ice dungeons is any ice dungeon in Pokemon. So if it's any better than any of those, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So.
My memory of that dungeon is, I think it's awesome, but we will find out when we get there.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So that is the dungeon for next week. I think I saved outside the dungeon actually.
Oh, for like the next one?
Yeah, because I was like, I wanted to explore a little bit and see if I could find any boulders, and then I wanted to make my way towards the next dungeon, see if there was any like notable side things to look for, and I kind of stumbled into, like, I jumped down into the lake and I was like, oh, that's the dungeon. So
yeah,
I was like, I'll remember that, and then obviously went back to get the sword upgrade. But
yeah.
So next week is Dungeon 5 in the Dark World.
Dungeon 5 in the Dark World.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Do you have any closing thoughts or questions about this week?
No, I'm very happy with how it went this week. I gotta say, very happy with this dungeon.
Me too. It was just like pure good Zelda content.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a nice detox for the last one.
Yes. So, DJ, thank you for helping me with this.
Thank you for bringing me on.
Of course, it's a pleasure. Where can the listeners or viewers find you online if they want those hot Nintendo tips?
Those hot Nintendo tips, you can find them at twitter.com/profile/DJ Gillard. I don't know. It's at DJ_Gillard. I don't know the URL, how that's working out. I don't know why I went there, to be honest with you. But yeah, you can head over there. I won't be posting Nintendo tips, but You can DM them to me, I guess. My DMs are open. I guess you can do that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll try to help, but no promises.
All right. Well, that's better than what they got going on right now. So.
Yeah.
That is going to be linked in the description alongside our Discord, where you can also chat about the show. We'll be posting this on a few Zelda subreddits as well. Always appreciate those comments. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris and Buckley. If you're listening to the show, though, you're on a podcast service of your choosing. If you can review these episodes on that service, I'm looking at you, Spotify. Get your act together. We would appreciate reviews, rankings. Just tap it on however many stars you think we deserve. Helps the show out.
Preferably a higher number of stars, but whatever you think we deserve, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that our lovely listeners would ever review bomb us for our takes.
No, I don't think so either.
Next week, though, it seems like you're tempting fate with this favorite dungeon claim.
Maybe.
So, if you do want to watch along, though, and see gameplay footage, you can follow it on youtube.com/joyclicks. But that's going to do it for part 8. I'm excited to see what you deem as the best dungeon in the game, potentially.
I'm wrong, to clarify.
Okay.
That's a bad take by me, but I'm going to stick with it.
All right. Well, until then, we will see you next week, and...
Yeah. All hail the Helmosaur King.